What's up, guys? Full on Rage back here. It has been a while, I know, but I have another great game that I'm going to break down. It gets really wild at the end. It's like combo after combo. One side's doing a combo, I'm doing a combo. It comes down to a crazy combo win. And we're going to break down to how we get to that point and what my thought process was that actually made me overcome the odds, because you're going to see I get really low, how I overcome the odds and I actually pull a win out from this. So it gets wild. But let's just start from the top here. So my opponent goes first. He has 2 coin and he goes with his cargo launch, and he's going to go with the battle bot, which is exactly probably what I would have done as well. I definitely like the idea of getting some scraps, getting that battle bot off the get-go. And then he only has 1 other coin. His only option would have been that cargo launch. I'm going second. I have 5 coin, and I go right for the mining mech here because I love scrap. The mining mech allows you to scrap either a card from your hand or discard, and gives you the 3 coin. This way I have some economy that I can use as I go throughout the match. Then he goes and he gets the, what is that called, the patrol mech? Farm ship. Farm ship, also a very good starting card because you're going to get the 3 coin from it, so you have economy. It also allows you to move through your deck a little bit faster, because when you're starting out and you acquire your first couple of cards, you basically have a deck full of, just scouts and vipers. It's just really crap in the beginning, and you have a couple of the cards that you have accumulated, and you really want to be able to start using the cards that you buy. So having the ability to draw an extra card and to discard, it lets you cycle through the deck a little faster. You can then bring another card in and then get rid of your weakest card. So it allows you to move through the deck. So it's a good alternative to scrapping. Scrapping makes your deck more efficient, but you can't do it in that turn. But draw a card, discard a card, that allows you to do it right in the turn. You just kind of cycle through the deck. But it could turn into a bad situation if you pull all good cards and then you draw a card and it's another good card. Then you have nothing stinky to discard, so it can bite you that way. But otherwise, a great card. Definitely the card I would buy if I was him. He can't buy anything else with his 1 token. I have 3 for this, and I go right for the Fortress Oblivion. It basically is just a base. It's gonna give me an extra 4 little health, essentially, because he's gonna do damage to the base and he's not gonna do damage to me. So it's almost like getting 4 health. Creates a little barrier in the beginning because his cards might be a little too weak to even break through it and might sit there and become a little wall, a little damage absorbing wall. And then the biggest reason why I'm getting it is because I already have the mining mech. I know I like scrap. It's going to allow me to scrap and ping off of my other red factioned cards. So I go for that Fortress Oblivion here. Alright, then he's going to go. He gets that farm ship. I was going to cycle through the deck. It did exactly what I just said. He had a hand of farm ship, scout, and viper, but he was able to draw 1 more card, get rid of his viper, and now he had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he got the moonworm. He got that moonworm not because he pulled a hand that had 7 coin. He got that moonworm because he had the farm ship that allowed him to pull an extra card and force a hand that gave him 7 coin and gave him that moonworm, which is a great card. 8 damage and draw a card. Great card. Scary card. I draw my hand here. I have the Fortress Oblivion. Unfortunately, I don't have a discard pile to scrap from, but I still think it's valuable to scrap even from the hand. It's always good to scrap. It's still very early in the game. We both still almost have full health. Scrapping, getting an efficient deck so that every single hand is a good hand. Doesn't have to be a great hand. Just at least has to be a good hand every single time, so I'm throwing out consistent damage. That brings us to win. And you can see here I'm capitalizing on the reds. I already have reds, so I say, you know what, let's stick with reds. Let's keep scrapping down. He scraps his stuff. He gets that Merc ship, that Merc cruiser. Good card. It's a good card. Does 5 damage and can turn into any faction he wants. So he can force those ally abilities. I here have 4 coin and only 1 Viper. not really much I can get except for that flagship. I mean, that gunship. That gunship is going to allow me to do 5 damage, make him discard a card, and I can scrap it for an extra 4, so I can trade up essentially and get a better card down the road. Alright, let's see what he pulls. He's got his farm ship again. He's got his Moonworm right away, pulls that out, so he's doing a big amount of damage here. Blows right through my base, but my base does absorb some of the damage, so instead of it going to me, it goes to the base, which is exactly what the base should do. And then he does the rest of the damage to me. I'm left with a hand here that is less than ideal, and I'm going to tell you why. Even though I'm pulling my Machine Cult cards, my red faction cards, together, so they're all going to ping off each other, but I only have 1 card in this discard pile, and that's the Fortress Oblivion, which I don't want to get rid of just yet. I have 3 scrap cards and only 2 cards that I would want to scrap. So this is an unfortunate situation because I have the ability to scrap technically up to 4 cards right now. Each one of these can scrap a card, plus I can use the ally ability right over here, this ally ability, to scrap a 4th card. But I'm only actually going to be able to scrap 2. And this becomes dangerous if I'm buying these cards that are otherwise not that powerful. They don't do a lot of damage, and they give a little bit of money, but not much more. The main reason why I'm getting them is because I want to be able to scrap my deck, and then if I pull them and I'm not able to utilize the scrap ability, it throws a wrench into my plan here. And what stinks is I have a deck full of Scouts and Vipers, essentially. It's mostly just Scouts and Vipers here that are coming out. So I'm not even really able to fully utilize these cards. But I utilize them to the best that I can. I scrap the 2 cards in my hand. I acquire another red card. That is called... What is the name of that one? That is the Border Fort. And the main reason why I get that is just because I already have a lot of reds. I might as well get reds. Plus I have this defense bot, which only does 1 damage. But if you have 2 bases in play, it does an additional 8. So this card right here, which only does 1 damage, could do actually up to 9 damage. But you have to have 2 bases out. Not most likely scenario. But by me having another red base, it allows for me to ping factions, possibly get this ability, and stave off some damage. So definitely think that was the right choice in the moment. You always got to consider your deck. He's pulling his Merc Cruiser and he's sacrificing that little card so that he can get a base. I here have the gunship and I have some scouts. I got a little Viper. We're gonna sacrifice that gunship to get the Mega Hauler. Mega Hauler is a cool ship. I don't have any other blue cards to really utilize the faction ability, the draw card, which is always a nice ability. But I figure, you know what? I really don't have any yellow cards either right now. So I might as well get this Mega Hauler that's going to give me 5 authority, and it allows me to acquire any ship on the trade row and put it at the top of my deck. And the reason why I like that right now, and I'm picking that instead of maybe the Merc Battlecruiser, is because I see some powerful cards here. You know, even this is a pretty good card. And being able to grab these powerful ships and throw them right on the top of my deck, that's a really nice ability. The Mega Hauler, it doesn't do a lot of damage immediately, but it actually can do a lot of damage just 1 turn later by throwing a huge card on top of your deck. If you can get it pretty early, which it's still pretty early in the game, it can turn out to be very powerful. He's still using that farm ship, allow him to cycle through the deck. And this is where it gets a little dangerous. You know, he just acquired that Merc Battlecruiser. Very powerful card. Again, it's an unaligned ship. It's a Merc ship, so he can make that any faction he wants. And it's a draw card, and it does a decent amount of damage. Scary, right? What's also scary is he puts out a Barter World, and I have nothing to contend with it right now. So it's going to sit out another turn. At the very least, though, I have the Mega Hauler. I throw that really powerful Star Empire ship on top, and I acquire another Star Empire ship. And now this is actually how I want things to play out. This is the kind of hands I want to see. But actually, let's see what he does first. Because he has the Barter World out, he gets the ping ability. He draws an extra card. He's got the Moonworm. He draws an additional card on top of that. He's acquiring a lot of blob ships, which are very high damage cards, and he puts me into a precarious situation here because he's almost doubling my health and he has a base out. Ugh. The very least though, the one silver lining to this is my hand is a very powerful hand right now. I'm going to be able to scrap a lot of cards, which I have a lot of Scouts and Vipers in my discard. So I'm really going to be able to take a deck that's like, okay, and just make it super streamlined and super efficient all in one turn. Plus, I'm going to be able to draw 2 cards. Draw my 2 cards. I scrap, I scrap, I scrap again. I scrap again, and I scrap one more time to make a really powerful deck. I grab the Merc Battlecruiser. I'm sorry, the Merc Cruiser. He has one as well, and I want one too. It's just going to allow me to ping because I have mostly red cards now, but I have that Mega Hauler, which is a blue card, and it's my only blue card. And then I have only 2 yellow cards, but they have nice ally abilities. So getting the Merc Cruiser allows me to ping off of that as I want, as I wish. And I figure, you know what, I have the money, I might as well grab the Ram Pilot. I always like grabbing these little hero cards, especially the blob ones, even if I don't have any blob. Like right now I have no blob, but I like grabbing them because it does 2 things. It allows me to deny it to my enemy, which is probably the most important thing. He has blob in his deck, and he's got a pretty decent amount of them, and I don't want him utilizing those ally abilities at his whims, you know, at his leisure, at his choosing. I don't want him to be able to do that. I want to deny him that. And also, these little blob heroes are great for dishing out that little bit extra damage. So like maybe he throws out 2 bases and each base has a 5 authority base. So I need to do 10 damage to get through his stuff. And I only have cards that do 8 damage. But I have this Ram Pilot sitting off the side that does an extra 2 damage. That allows me to use it at will to get rid of his bases. Like that's just a little example scenario. So I don't want him to be able to use that against my base. I want to be able to use that maybe against one of his bases down the road. And I want to also be able to deny him from doing not only the damage, but pinging off of his very dangerous blob deck that he's building. So I grab that. I don't utilize it now. I'm going to let that sit there and utilize it when it's best to utilize that, because there's no real need to use it now. All right, we get rid of his base, we do some damage, and let's see what we got here. So he starts throwing out his heavy blob hitters. He's got his Merc Cruiser, so he's also going to get his blue ally ability. He acquires a card for free because of the Moonworm, because he pinged off of another blob card. He gets the ally ability. Let's go back there and show you that. So this is he's got a really nice combo. You're going to want to watch this. The Moonworm draws an extra card, pings off of the Swarmer, and allows him to use his ally ability. I know you can't really see that. It's a very small print. But what that basically says is if you have an ally, you trigger it, you can acquire a card, I think of 3 or 2 or less, something like that, and put it directly into your hand. Plus, he's got his blue card here that has an ally ability to draw a card, and he utilizes his Merc Cruiser very intelligently. He makes it blue to get an extra card drawn. He draws some Scouts, which don't do too much, but he utilizes that ability to grab a Corvette, which allows him to do an extra damage and draw an extra card, which allows him to do an extra 2 damage. He gets me down to 2, man. What? This when I came back to this game, I was like, I left and it looked like this, 37 to 23. I came back and it was 37 to 2. I was like, what the hell just happened? It was a nice combo. David at 9M. That's a nice combo. I'm really not feeling confident in this moment because I have a hand that's not terrible. I have these 2 cards pinging off of each other. Nice. But I'm not going to be able to do 37 damage with these cards here. And that's pretty much what I need to do, 37 damage, because anything he pulls is going to have 2 damage, basically, you know? Like, I'm pretty much dead. So, first thing I do is I throw out that base. We know we're going to throw out the base. And I throw out the Imperial Flagship to grab 2 more cards. Okay, so I have my 2 more cards. And now I'm thinking to myself, alright, let's throw out the Imperial Frigate, because that's going to do, I'm going to ping all that damage, get all the ally abilities between these two cards, and the Imperial Frigate I can scrap to draw an extra card. I need to draw as many cards as I can right now. I need to pull out whatever I can pull out. And I pull out the Mega Hauler. So I'm still not super confident in this moment. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to play this the best I possibly can. The Mega Hauler comes out, and I go, all right, you know what? If I somehow make it past this turn, and he doesn't kill me, if there's some kind of miracle, maybe he only does like 6 damage, he blasts through my border fort, does 1 damage, and leaves me with 1 damage, I know what I'm going to need. What I really need is damage, right, to kill him. But the next best thing would be to at least draw a card and give myself some authority. So, okay, like I'll grab that. I'll use the Mega Hauler to grab it for free, throw it on top of my deck. All right, we'll grab that. And then the opportunity presents itself, and I go, Chairman Hagen just came out. That's why these hero cards in the right person's hands can really turn the tide of a battle very quickly. The Mega Hauler not only gave me some authority, it threw that card on top, and it presented this. If I buy this right now, I'm going to utilize the Mega Hauler's draw card ability and get that card that I just put up there. I go, I have to do that. I have to do that. I grab that. It gives me some more health, which I desperately need. Draws the card I just bought, which is the trade, not bought. I technically acquired it for free. Got the trade envoy. And I know what my deck is here. That my discard pile only has this one card. And I have the Merc Cruiser, which allows me to get any faction color, right? And I start going, okay, all right. This is where I literally start breaking out the pen and paper, and I start calculating some stuff here. And I go, okay, how much damage can I do at this point? I have 16 on the table. The defense pot's going to do 1, okay? I draw a card. I get the Merc Cruiser. The Merc Cruiser is going to do an extra 5, okay? And the border fort is going to do an extra 2, but it's not enough. It's not going to be enough, okay? But if I can get this defense bot to do that extra 8 damage, I'm starting to get really close. And what's cool about the Trade Envoy is you can scrap it with the ally ability, which I do have. These two blues are pinging off each other. If I have the ally ability, which I do, and if I use the ally ability, it scraps the card, which doesn't matter at this point. I gotta go for broke here. It doesn't matter if I get rid of this card. Scrap the card, and I could put the next base or ship into my hand, which means that I could take this base and put this into my hand. If I do that, I'll have 2 bases out. I can use the defense bot and get the full 9 damage instead of the 1. I'll have this 2 damage here, which I can ping off of with the Ram Pilot. Once I calculate that all out, I calculated it all out, and it came out to like 36 or something. I was 1 short. I'm like, holy crap, I gotta do more damage here. I got the 5 here. If I can grab this guy and chuck him into my hand, I'll have the 2 bases. I'll have the full 9. I'll have the 2 from this, the 2 from that, the 2 ping off of the base itself. I'm at 36. I need something else. Okay, well, we know we have this here. We know this is an option. Might as well just grab this 1 cost card. Sometimes I like to do that. I go fishing and I buy the cheapest cards just to see if any heroes come out or if something comes out. And I haven't utilized this yet, so I haven't grabbed this. I haven't committed to this base yet. Let's buy something and see what comes out. And I go, uh-oh. Now that's going to do it for me, because I can scrap this card and grab this instead. But Nick, you're not going to have your 2 bases then. You need the 2 bases. You needed to get the trade wheel and the border front to get your full damage. That's the only way you're going to be able to utilize the full damage. Aha! I get the Predator. I use the Ram Pilot or the Merc Cruiser to turn green to draw the card, and I draw my last card, which is a base, and I get both. And that's what I do. Scrap that. We put that into the hand. I play it. Use the Merc. Turn it green. Draw an extra card. Now I have 2 bases. Now we do the defense pilot. we started blowing away all my damage, utilizing everything at my disposal, and I managed to pull through with just enough. And that's why you never give up, and you have to utilize techniques like putting cards on top of your deck, utilizing the factions properly, drawing cards, putting cards to the top of your deck, then drawing cards. That's why you never just throw things out willy-nilly. You really want to look at the cards in your hand and time them properly. Okay, I can use the Mega Holer first to put something on the top of my deck, and then use another card to draw a card. Also, the ability to use heroes, knowing when to use heroes, and the last technique I want to leave you guys with is fishing. If you have nothing's in your hand, nothing's on the trade board, well, maybe you have a lot of trade from that hand. Maybe you got like 6 coin and you have 6 coin to utilize. Well, start going fishing. Start buying some of the cheapest cards on the trade row and see what pops up. Sometimes something will pop up like a hero or one of those cards that if you played a certain faction, you can buy the card and put it right into your hand. I know certain Star Realms decks have that. If you utilize that properly, you can sometimes pull out a win where a win just was not possible. And definitely didn't think I was going to win this, but you can see by utilizing all those skills, all those techniques, and getting a little lucky, having those heroes pop out at that time, and those particular cards popping out at that time allowed me to take advantage of them, get a little creative, and go from 37 to 2 to winning with 24 health on my side. And that's it for this time, guys. That's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great one.